Despite the efforts to stay out of World War I, circumstances eventually pulled the United States into the conflict. When did the U.S. enter the war, and why? Germany's counter-blockade against Great Britain had devastating results. In the first months of 1915, German U-boats sank 90 merchant ships in the designated war zone. American anger continued to swell, and that anger boiled into a rage in May of 1915. German U-boats attacked the British passenger liner Lusitania off the coast of Ireland. Of the 1,198 lives lost, 128 were Americans. Civilians seethed as they read newspaper accounts of what was being called a mass murder and act of piracy committed by the German Navy. Germany defended its actions by stating that a clear message had been sent to avoid traveling into the war zone and that the Lusitania was being used to smuggle ammunition. Despite the fury of the American public, President Woodrow Wilson remained determined to avoid war. Diplomatic protests were made. However, 3 months later, the British passenger liner Arabic was struck, killing 2 Americans. When the U.S. government protested, Germany promised to cease attacking passenger ships. In 1916, as Wilson campaigned for re-election, his commitment to peace was tested. In March, Germany mistakenly torpedoed a French passenger liner, the Sussex. Americans were amongst the 80 civilians killed and wounded. Wilson threatened to break off diplomatic relations with Germany, and the Kaiser responded with the Sussex Pledge. This was a promise not to attack passenger liners. It also assured that the merchant vessels would be targeted only if weapons were on board. Wilson campaigned on a peace platform, and his slogan declared, "He kept us out of war." On Election Day, the results shifted back and forth, but Wilson won a narrow victory in the Electoral College, 277 to 254. Despite his best efforts, Wilson could not keep his promise. Believing that total victory in the North Atlantic could be achieved, Germany renewed the practice of unrestricted submarine warfare. All ships, the Kaiser declared, whether Allied or neutral, would be sunk on sight. President Wilson knew that the declaration meant war with Germany. However, he determined to wait for actual overt acts before asking Congress to take action. He did not have to wait long. Knowing that war with the United States was likely, Germany's Foreign Secretary, Arthur Zimmermann, sent instructions to their ambassador in Mexico. If the United States declared war, the ambassador was to propose a military alliance with Mexico. Germany would offer military and financial support and assist Mexico in recovering lost territory in Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. British intelligence intercepted the Zimmermann telegram and passed it on to the U.S. As Wilson considered his options, 4 American merchant ships were attacked by German U-boats, resulting in the loss of 36 lives. President Wilson called for a joint session of Congress, and he laid out his argument on April 2, 1917. "It is a fearful thing," he insisted, "to lead this great, peaceful people into war." Congress responded by passing a declaration of war on April 6, 1917. Only 6 senators and 50 representatives voted against going to war. Representative Jeanette Rankin of Montana, the first female member of Congress, was amongst those who voted no.